through several
Yes.
episodes in the show in different contexts, really. How did you end up connecting with that storyline?
I went to school when I was younger, and I was bullied. I had to change schools for it. So it was kind of a real experience. I actually remember filming a scene where they were bullying me, and I was getting actually really upset.
Oh yeah, me too.
It is a traumatizing experience. It was actually mentally very hard. I had to be very strong and thick-skinned and keep reminding myself that it was just my job.
Maya, you were a new addition last year, and I don't believe you had any scenes with Natalia in season 3, but what was it like working together and bringing that to life?
It was just so fun. I mean, the days that we would have scenes together were both some of the most relaxing of my days on set. It was always it was really positive, calm energy, which isn't always the case. I don't know. I just loved it.
Honestly, it was really fun to work with Maya, the actor, who's very talented and very fun to work with, but also for Nancy and Robin, to kind of play off of each other it was just like a fun thing to explore.
Joe, Steve's storyline in the first few episodes is about him trying to figure out his own love life, which hasn't worked out well for him. I'm curious what you think Steve needs.
He needs a swift kick in the butt. No, man, if I was Steve's dad, I'd be like, "You're moving to the city." I just kick him out. He'd have to move to the closest city. I think it would probably be good for him to, now that he has like some real support kind of from Robin in his life, I feel like it would be fun to see him outside of the world of Hawkins. I think that's kind of a cool thing to imagine.
There have been a moment where you guys have realized just how big of a phenomenon the show is?
I mean, for me, it was like super early on, I have to say, like literally, I've never experienced anything like it. The first weekend that Stranger Things came out, like must have been like 100 texts from a driver that I met from a high school friend. And they were all like, Stranger Things, oh my God, this show, Stranger Things. And I've had a big career where I've done a lot of stuff, and I'm like 40, and that's never happened before or since. And I knew at that moment that we had like touched a chord in the culture in some way that I've never done as an artist.
I've been part of movies that are sort of touchstones, Beetlejuice, things like that. But this was entirely, I'd never been part of something like this. And I remember I'd never done a series before. And I remember a lot of sort of earlier on in the 90s to early 2000s, people were always saying, look, it's different. You're in people's homes. So they think they have more, they can talk, like people will think they know you because they're not going to a theater to see you. You're in their home. And that definitely sort of happened, but it also, I truly am known as Will's mom. I will forever be Will's mom, and I'm very happy with that. I've been really blessed and lucky to have the career I've had, but this show has really changed my life. And it came at a time when there wasn't a lot going on for me and women my age, and it's opened a lot of opportunities up, and it's also just been an absolute joy to work on something for this long with people that you love.
And like for you jumping into the show, which already has such a huge established cast.
Man, it was an honor. It was a little daunting at first, but it was welcomed with giant open arms, and like everybody was so kind and thoughtful.
Great. Yeah, an amazing experience. I think to kind of be a part of something that that means so much to people is a pretty rare thing, and to meet these people was a great experience. I felt kind of extremely lucky.
What has it meant for you both to grow up on this show?
Every experience has been with each other. It's been a very...
Our whole childhood is like this show, and all our memories we've made is through this, and yeah, we've just really connected through this because we all kind of go through the same thing and have had the same situation and growing up being in the limelight at such a young age is like very crazy and can be overwhelming, but it's nice to
Have each other.
have each other to like turn to for that.
You know, they
And-
say a zebra never changes its stripes. And that's what it's been like for us kids. Like we've always felt like we've never changed and we've always stayed to the core of who we were in season 1. And it's always
Yeah.
been nice to go back to that
And-
sometimes when you're seeking refuge and support.
I watched the show in like a day. I watched the first season. I just could not turn it off. It just blew
And
my mind.
When I saw season 2, I was like, oh my God, I want to work with him. I
yeah,
hope,
when
I pray that I
when-
get to
And when
work
I
with
heard that, I was like, that's insane. And Winona's a acting hero of mine. So, and then the fact that I got to like be like in this immersive thing with Winona Ryder is just insane to me. I mean, she's one of the people who taught me how to act by watching her.
Can you guys tell me about like the new sort of big bad for the season, Vecna?
Sexy.
Terrible breath.
Sexy?
He's not good.
Yeah.
He's a bad guy.
He's a bad guy that we can't really talk about.
Bad guy.
We always get asked, did you ever expect it to be as big as it was? And I was at the time when the first season came out, I was doing this movie and like this tiny town of Asturias, no one was speaking, everyone was Spanish speaking. And I think the day after the show came out, I had people coming up to me, just being like Stranger Things. And I was like, yeah, I guess. Like I don't know that it was instantly like, wow.
That's why it's a phenomenon.
That's why it's a
Yeah,
phenomenon.
baby.
There he goes.
What does it mean for you both to know that you're heading into the final season?
Noah and I have had a hard time accept. We're like, we're like
Even like on the last day of
we're like the step kids that we have our new dad and we're like, he's not our dad. That's we're in that denial phase right now where we're like, it's just not, we're not choosing to accept it. We're like the ones that you can't really talk about it around.
But that was even like on our last day of shooting on season 4. I remember I was like going up to Millie and I was like, are you crying? Are you gonna cry? Like, are you crying? Are you upset? And she's like, no, we're not talking about it yet. Like there's still 7 more hours. Like it's not over yet. And like we just keep
and then
pushing
as
it
soon
over.
as it was 4 a.m. and they said that's a wrap, Noah and I were like, it was like those like cartoon like tears coming out of
like a waterfall.